When Amber found this baby deer crying for help, she couldn't believe her eyes. She knew right away something was wrong.
Where's your mom?
Sometimes mama deer will leave their babies for a little while, but this baby deer seemed lost and hungry.
I don't have anything.
Amber didn't know what to do. Should she take him with her? What if the mama deer was looking for him? Suddenly, the baby deer ran off. Amber thought maybe he'd found his mom.
I go back home and I go to bed and I can't stop thinking about him.
That night, she went back to check on the baby and saw he still needed help.
We couldn't handle it. We came back and found him.
Amber knew she had to be this baby deer's rescuer.
Okay, now I need some help on what to do.
She knew the deer had to eat, but she didn't have any bottles. So she filled a glove with milk, hoping he would like it.
Oh.
And he did!
Oh, God.
Be careful.
Amber decided to name him Scout. It was a good sign that Scout wanted to eat. He was such a brave little deer and wasn't going to give up.
Good morning. Oh, you made it. Hang on.
Scout couldn't wait to start the day. Amber had watched him all night, and by morning, she already loved him. But she knew she couldn't take care of Scout forever. Wild baby deer need professional help. Luckily, there was an animal shelter nearby. When they got to the shelter, the rescuers couldn't believe how little Scout was. It turns out he was only 2 days old. If he hadn't asked Amber for help, he'd have been in serious trouble. But now, Scout was trouble-free. With lots of care and love from his rescuers, he grew up and made friends. And one day, when he's old enough, he'll go back to the forest again. As a strong, brave, and happy deer.
Hello, my name is... No, hold on, I need to clean that. Start over! As I was saying, my name is... Ooh, wow, that feels nice. My name is Mr. Biggles... Oh, no, apparently I'm getting a sweater. Hold on. My name is Mr. Bigglesworth! There, I said it! And yes, I am a bunny with no fur. See, here I am. This is me. And those are my feet. I was just born this way. My brothers and sisters all had fur, but I didn't. Back then, I was kind of worried nobody would like me. Because bunnies are usually so fluffy. And I am not. But a lady adopted me when I was just a little guy. And she thinks that I'm adorable.
Hey, Sniffy Nose. Look at you sniffing. Yeah, ain't she gorgeous?
I mean, she's not wrong. Even though I don't have fur, I am still very soft and cuddly. Especially when I wear sweatshirts. Wow! What is that? Some lettuce? Actually, being hairless is kind of great. First of all, I am very pink. And pink is the color that flamingos is. Second, I get petted all day. Third, I have many fashionable sweaters to keep me warm. Like this one, and this one, and my personal favorite, a lobster costume. Sometimes I try to eat the sweaters. They do not taste as good as they look. I get sweaters from my friends all over the world. The envelopes are delicious.
Cheeky little thing, don't throw the envelope around.
You might think that all I do is sit around in blankets looking cute, but I actually have a very busy schedule. In the morning, my mom feeds me breakfast. Spinach, so fresh. I run around this long tube thingy and whoa! What was that? Let's see what's happening with this tube. Oh, okay, nothing scary. After that, I try to open this ball to get a treat. Let's see. Oh, I did it! And my mom feeds me a banana. Open the ball, get a banana. Life is good. After that, I go to visit my best friend. My friend is a giant, humongous, extra-large bunny. If you ask me, he's a stranger-looking bunny than I am. He doesn't even like carrots. But I don't mind. At the end of the day, I'm not even tired. No, sir. Not sleepy. Not... I guess I'm pretty loved. How do I know that? Well, I'm always getting hugs and cuddles. And when it's my birthday, my mom throws me a party. If you have not tried a lettuce cake with grapes on top, you are missing out. Even though I look a little different, I wouldn't want to be any bunny but me.
Something was wrong with Munchkin the cat. He was feeling sick and having trouble breathing. He didn't have the energy to play with toys or wrestle with his brother. His mom, Chriselle, was worried. Munchkin needed to go to the vet. But the vet was an hour away. Because of the pandemic, the country was on strict lockdown. And driving that far was against the rules. But Chriselle knew that this time, she had to break the rules. She put Munchkin in the car and headed straight to the vet. When they were stopped at a checkpoint, Chriselle was worried. What if they were told to go home? Munchkin needed help now. But the people at the checkpoint saw that Munchkin needed help. And they were let through. As soon as they arrived, the vet put a mask on Munchkin that gave him oxygen and helped him breathe. After examining him and cleaning him up, the vet realized he had pneumonia. So he gave Munchkin more oxygen. He needed to keep using it until his lungs healed. The vet gave Chriselle a machine to bring home so she could keep giving oxygen to Munchkin. He liked it best when she filled up a box with the steam. Chriselle always kept Munchkin next to her because she was so worried about him. Every day, she'd give him oxygen and then start work. And then one day, she saw this. He wanted to play. A little too hard. And pretty soon, Munchkin didn't need help breathing at all. Then something pretty amazing happened. Munchkin figured out a new way to talk to Chriselle. He had different meows to let her know what he was thinking. There was, I need to use the bathroom, or I'm hungry, or even, open the door, please. Munchkin's new meows meant he and Chriselle could really understand each other. In his own way, Munchkin makes sure to say thank you to Chriselle for taking a big risk to save his life. But Chriselle knows that love is always worth taking a risk.
Dashy.
From the moment you were born, Dash, all you wanted was to get big. Big enough to leave your boring baby bed and see the world outside. You were so little. Growing big would take time. But you weren't the most patient tiger. No, you wanted to dash. You'd get so grumpy because you couldn't see yet. But that was the first thing to change.
Dash's eyes are just starting to open. Pretty soon we're gonna see those baby blues.
As soon as you could see, you wanted to walk. But you had trouble even standing.
What are you doing? Are you trying to roll over? I see you.
Then, one day, finally, your first steps.
Look it! You're walking!
Now that you could walk and see,
Over here, Dash!
you thought you were ready to go and finally explore the world. But it wasn't time yet. 5 weeks had passed, and you'd gotten much bigger. But you were still a baby. You needed to grow a bit more. But you didn't believe us. You kept trying to show us all the things you could do. How high you could climb. Ooh, careful. That you were never scared. That you could pounce on anything, even a bed, to convince us you were big enough. Then, after 2 months of waiting, you'd gotten so big. You were almost there. It's been 2.5 months. Let's see. Are you ready to brave the world outside?
And Mr. Dash just received outdoor access today.
You were a little nervous, but that didn't stop you. This was what you'd been waiting for. You finally reached your tiger dreams.
Ooh, what you drinking? Can I have a taste?
She took my trunk!
Sorry, I need this. Gotta run! Blueberry boom! Blueberry zoom! Ooh, thanks, Mom. Oh, what's happening? Yeah, I did kinda steal that straw back there. But I had very good reasons. It was because A, I needed berry fuel. Blueberry fuel. And B, I'm blueberry. Berry fuel is what I call what you call food. I'm talking breakfast, lunch, and dinner, with assorted nibbles and bites throughout the day. Because berry fuel is what I need to do my special berry moves. You already saw a few of them. Wanna see more? Just let me warm up for a second. Almost ready, and... berry zoom! Berry whoosh! Berry bounce! Berry flop! Berry soar! Did I just fly? I just flew. Yeah, I did. I doubt you've ever seen another rabbit who could do those kinds of moves. I'm pretty sure I'm the only rabbit on Earth who can. Nobody fact-check that. So you see, I needed berry fuel. So I don't run out of energy. Because if that happens, well, first, I get a little hangry. Trust me, it's not a good look. But even worse, I start running low on berry power and have to take a nap. And I can't be sleeping when I should be out zooming. Sure, I do look extremely adorable when I'm snoozing. But I'm not trying to be adorable. I'm trying to be powerful. And not just so I can do my moves. It's also for adventures with Mom. Did I mention I have the most amazing bunny mom ever? She's the one who gives me all this blueberry fuel. I'll never forget the day we met, and I showed her my special berry moves for the first time. She was completely in awe of my abilities, which is probably why we started traveling the world. We have some real hair-raising exploits. Like that time we hopped through that field. Or the time we hopped through that field, but with snow. Ooh, and the time we were on a boat. Just another classic Blueberry Mom team-up. Time to refuel. Bunny cookie on a stick? Did you bake this, Mom? Oh, that's kinda special. A special cookie for a special bunny. Sure, we're big-time explorers, but we have the most fun right here at home. Hey, why'd you stop? What was I just talking about? I don't think it was important. Please continue. Anyway, it's getting pretty late. And I've still got one extra special task to take care of. Berry climb! Hurry, hurry, hurry. It's almost time. It's almost time. Clear. 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 All clear. Whew, did it. Every night I make sure Mom's room is safe, secure, and cozy. So we can have our TV time. I mostly come for the snuggles. But I can't let Mom stay up too late. She might need to go on an adventure tomorrow. With me, her very special bunny.
This is Mila, a cat who loves being part of the pack.
Mila.
She lives with all of these dogs and people. Oh, and also this dog and this one. Sometimes this little cat can feel small and lost, but not when she's with her best friend, Mimi. They help each other remember to be brave, because before she met Mimi, Mila didn't feel very fearless. She was all alone when Desi and Chantal found her in the bushes. They heard a meow and realized a little kitten was stuck in there.
Oh nein.
The water was really deep, but Chantal held Mila close and walked slowly back to safety. Mila was scared and couldn't stop meowing. They needed to take her home right away, but there was one problem. Their big dogs at home might not be careful with a tiny kitten. So they made one room a no-dog zone. Every day they fed her and tried to make her feel safe. But she still cried all the time. What was wrong? And then one day, the dogs snuck into her room. Desi and Chantal were worried she'd be scared of the giant dog. But she wasn't. Instead, she seemed happy to have a friend.
Good girl, Amy.
And she stopped crying. The next day, Desi and Chantal saw this.
This is incredible.
The dogs were gentle with her. But they didn't need to be. She was ready to play rough. Mila loved her big new family, but she still didn't know where she fit in. She didn't have a best friend yet. But it wouldn't be long. Desi and Chantal were at a restaurant when they met Mimi. Her foot was hurt and she needed a home. So they brought her back with them. They didn't know if she'd like living with so many dogs and a tiny cat. And they wondered if Mila would get nervous around a new dog in the house. What they never guessed is that Mila thought Mimi would make a great mom. She kept trying to nurse. Luckily, Mimi didn't mind. She loved having someone trust her with their whole heart. Her legs became Mila's favorite place to sleep. And her head became Mila's favorite place to attack.
Oh my gosh, Mila, you're gonna get in trouble.
Now, when new rescued animals join the family, Mila's the one sneaking in, checking to make sure they're safe, and being their new mom. Mila finally knows exactly where she belongs. Because sometimes you don't go looking for family. Family finds you.
Your eyes are opening, little one.
When you were born, you were the tiniest baby bunny ever. That's why we named you Tiny Tim. Your brothers and sisters were a lot bigger than you, and you felt a little left out.
Whoop, Tiny Tim, go back with your friends.
But we knew with a little extra help, you'd grow up to be just as big. First, we needed you to eat more.
All right, Tiny Tim. Oh, you're the same weight from yesterday.
You were too tiny to get food from your mom. So we fed you by hand.
Tiny Tim, hello, my friend. Let's see if he held on to his weight from yesterday. He was 1.15. Let's pray he's at least that. You're 1.2, Tiny Tim. Okay, let's feed you, Bubba.
The more you ate, the faster you grew.
He's like, thank you for the milk. Okay, Tim, it's your turn for the weigh-in. You ready, buddy? You're so squirmy. Okay, here we go. 3! Yay! Oh my gosh! Good job! He's like, did I do good, guys? Wow! Tim, you're such a big boy now.
Now that you were a little bigger, you wanted to hang out with your brothers and sisters right away. But you still had a little bit more growing up to do.
Poor Tim, he can't get out to be with all his friends.
You weren't going to give up, though. You just kept eating and growing. And one day, you started exploring.
Tim! Oh my gosh! Tim! How did you do that?
Good job, Tiny Tim.
You were ready to play with your big brothers and sisters. But they were so big, they were leaving for families of their own. You were a little sad, but you had someone even bigger to be with. Doodles! Being friends with a big dog like Doodles made everything more fun.
Good boy. Come on. Come on. What do you have there? Huh? Is it a Tiny Tim? Hi, Tim.
Every day was a new adventure. And soon, you weren't the smallest anymore, and knew how to be the bigger buddy.
Aww, it's so nice. Oh dear.
So here you are, Tiny Tim. Except you're not so tiny anymore. You're big now, in all the best ways.
Hi. Hello, I see you.
And ready to take on the world.
You good boy.
No matter how big it is.
Hobbs the dog is a bad boy. I don't believe this. You're tearing up a magazine and eating it? Someone might have wanted to read that, Hobbs. You're a bad boy. Oh, brother. What is this bad boy doing now? Oh, you're sleeping so sweetly. You look like a pretty good boy to me, who I love a lot. Hobbs! Hey! That's not a chew toy, that's my wallet! You are a bad boy. Aw, you're being so good for your bath. What a sweet little guy. Who's being bad again? Ah! Look, Hobbs, I know you're kind of an old dog, And before your mom adopted you, you hadn't met anyone nice. So I get why you can be a little bit grumpy, even though you're the cutest little dog we've ever seen. Aww. But as we know, looks can be deceiving. Hobbs, you can't growl at her. She's your mom. I'm gonna say it. That's a bad boy. Who was also a cuddly little guy. And a very good boy. Really, Hobbs, you just have your good days and your bad days like everybody else. Hey, don't wreck that box! Hobbs! Bad boy! Now snuggling? That's a good boy. Posing nicely for funny pictures? Such a good boy. I don't know what you're doing here. Seems like good boy behavior? Okay, I'll give it to you. Good boy! So even though your mom would probably prefer you didn't bark so much, Hobbs, come on. She knows you're not really a bad boy. You're the best dog she's ever met. You're... Hobbs? Hobbs? Hobbs! No more whining. I'm trying to talk about how great you are. Hobbs! Okay, thank you. You aren't a bad boy at all. You're the perfect dog. Who's just a bit naughty sometimes. We love you, Hobbs. You bad boy.
This little French fry is named Turbo. He was born without any front legs. And he was being picked on by his brothers and sisters. It wasn't very nice. He needed a new place to live, with a family who moved more at his speed. So, a kind lady at the vet clinic decided to take Turbo home. Even though Turbo didn't have any front legs, he was just like any other puppy. He wanted to play and go outside, but it wasn't easy, not even a little. But did that stop Turbo? Nope. His mom would hold out a little treat, and Turbo would use all his strength to get to it. It helped his back legs get stronger. But it wasn't enough. Turbo needed something more. He needed wheels. Problem was, Turbo was tiny. Even the smallest dog carts were too big for him. So his mom tried making her own carts. She made the first one out of a helicopter toy, but it didn't quite work. So she tried a few more. Turbo was losing hope. He was trying so hard, but it still wasn't working. Then something amazing happened. A guy who makes parts for airplanes heard about Turbo's story online, and he designed a cart just for him. It was orange and had lime green rollerblade wheels. Looking good, Turbo. But would it work? At first, Turbo didn't know what to do. He would walk a little, but he was still discouraged. Then his mom had an idea. Maybe Turbo just needed someone to play with. So she brought out her other dog. And off Turbo went. And went. And kept on going. As Turbo grew up, he learned to do even more. Like jump up on the couch.
What are you doing, sir? You got your own chair?
And wear a cool denim vest. And do the cha-cha with his best friend Ruby. As soon as these two bumped noses, they were inseparable. Turbo could have decided to just give up, but he didn't. He kept going and going and going. And now he's got the best life, full of friends, adventure, and love. Go, Turbo, go!
So now we are ready for a flight to Little Primates, and my passenger is sleeping.
It's Tongo's first time flying in an airplane, so he's curious and pretty scared. But Anthony knows the best place for him.
Hey, little boy, ready for it?
Safe in his lap. The first time rescuers saved a chimp far away from the sanctuary, they weren't sure how to get Pinga back safely. So they called Anthony, a pilot who loves animals. Could he help bring Pinga back? Anthony had never done anything like it before, but he was willing to try. Because the only thing he loved more than flying was baby chimps. But there was one problem. Pinga was too scared to fly in the special crate her rescuers made for her. So Anthony let Pinga fly up front as his first baby chimp co-pilot. Now, Anthony flies rescued chimps all the time and knows just how to get them ready. When he meets a chimp for the first time, he takes it slow. They're usually just babies, and they might be afraid. But Anthony knows the best way to a baby chimp's heart. After a good sleep, and more bananas, it's finally time for their first flight. Anthony's not sure how they'll feel about being so high in the air. Some are nervous. Or worse, curious. So Anthony makes room for them in his lap, and then they take off. Up in the air, Anthony knows all the tricks to comfort the babies. And when he picks their fleas, they always fall asleep. They usually snooze the whole way. But Anthony brings a bottle of milk for wake-ups.
All went well. Very chill flight.
Once Anthony lands the plane, they meet Itsaso, the sanctuary's director. She knows the right body language to get a chimp to trust her, and they always jump right into her arms. One day, these chimps will grow up and go back to the wild. Until then, they love calling the sanctuary home. And Anthony? He's got more chimps to fly. But that's not all. He's training the next group of pilots who will one day pick up a scared chimp, hold him tight, and take off into the sky.
Him, the adorable cat, loves to shower. Wait, loves to shower? That can't be right. And yet, that's exactly what it looks like. This cat can't stop, won't stop showering. Him, I'm not sure if you know this, but cats hate getting wet. But you really don't hate it. You seem to be perfectly happy in the shower. I mean, I guess it's not bad for a kitty to like showers, but it is odd. And I'm sure your mom would prefer to shower alone. But right now, whenever she tries to take a shower, there you are, tagging along. Maybe if we can figure out why you love to shower, you can stop bugging your mom during hers. Maybe you just really like water? So instead of the shower, why not play in the sink, huh? It's like a shower for your hands. don't really seem all that excited about sink water. Hey, where are you going? And she's back in the shower. Well, maybe it's not just the water itself, but it's that you like being all soaky wet for some reason. Ooh, you probably love to swim, Pim. Let's try a kiddie pool, or a kitty pool, if you will. We got it just for you. You'll probably be in here all day. Oh, done already, huh? I guess you're not much of a swimmer either. Pim, where'd you, back in the shower. Again. Oh, I know. You must love the jets of water shooting out at you. All nice and soothing. That's gotta be it. Okay, how about we try a sprinkler? It's sort of like an outside shower. This way, maybe you won't trap water around in the house with your wet paws. All right, here we go. Sprinkler time. And go. Go, Pim. What, you don't like your sprinkler? I don't get it, Pim. You don't like pools, you don't like sprinklers, and you don't like sinks. You don't seem to care about water at all. You just love the shower. We have to figure out something, Pim. This is just not normal. And your mom needs to have some peace in the shower. It's almost like you don't even want to leave your mom for a second. Hang on. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not the water or the shower jets at all. You just really love spending time with your mom. And the shower is the one place where you can spend time together with no distractions. Usually no distractions. Ahem. Just a kitty and her mama. And some duckies. In a nice, warm, soothing shower. Yeah, this looks really soothing. Okay, there might also be some love for the shower itself. I mean, you did write your name on it. And honestly, this seems like a pretty relaxing routine you've got here, Pim. I mean, look at you. The full spa treatment. I'm actually kind of jealous, Pim. You're not afraid to do your own thing. You know what? Good for you. Maybe this isn't normal for cats, but who says you have to be normal? We love you, Pim the shower cat. Just be careful not to get your fur all pruny. Rebel is a little puppy. And a big, bad girl.
Rebel!
Rebel, are you biting your siblings? Don't chomp their legs. And definitely don't nibble their ears. Bad girl. Look out! This puppy bites! Stop biting! Oh, you're just giving kisses. That's good, actually. Such a sweet little pup. Maybe I overreacted.
Rebel!
Are you being a big bed hog?
Look, now you have no friends.
Bad girl! Wait, now you're nicely accepting pets? Aw, you can be a good girl. Hang on, did that big dog just take your toy? Well, that's rude. Yeah, you tell him, Rebel.
Rebel.
Oh, I get it. You're trying to be bossy because you're small, and you feel like you need to act big. Aw, you can't even get up on the couch. Maybe you're not such a bad girl, just a tiny girl who doesn't like being told what to do. Aw, look how teeny. You can fit in a pocket. Oh, look at you learning how to walk. Tiny, good girl. Maybe when you're not so tiny, you'll stop trying to be so rude and bossy.
Rebel!
Okay, now you're a bit bigger. Let's see. Oh, look, you finally made it up on the couch. But you're taking up the whole thing? Rebel, let someone else sit with you. Ah, and you're still biting ears. Bad girl. You're a big girl now. Still small, sure, but bigger. Hey, don't yell at me now. You're the one who needs to listen. Here we go. You're gonna jump all over your mom for that chip. Oh, you were politely waiting and hoping? Aw, good girl. I knew you could do it. You'll never be rude again, will you? I guess that's all wrapped up.
Rebel, what did you do?
Did you make this big mess? Bad girl! No, don't come here. Oh, you're so sweet. You're a little dog with a big heart. You don't need to act big and tough all the time. You can remember to be nice to your friends and family. They love you. You're a big personality in a teensy body. And that's what makes you our special little rebel. Just try to be a little less rude.
Rebel.
You teeny, tiny, bad girl.
Rebel! Oh, hi! My name is Octopus and I am an Eggbert. Oh, wait! No, my name is Eggbert and I am an octopus. I'm sorry about that. I don't get too many visitors down here on the seafloor. In fact, I have just one friend. And get this, she's a human. She's got these funny tentacles, which she lets me sit on. She calls them fingers, but I know a tentacle when I see one. Whenever she comes to visit, I like to give her a little boop to say hello. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. Hi. I try to get her to come into my shell house, but she doesn't ever follow me inside. I think she might be too big. Or maybe she's too busy for a tour. But I don't mind, because she always brings me food. It is delicious. Sometimes she forgets to take the food out of the jar. It's no big deal. I just give the lid a little twist. And then it's lunchtime! I gotta be careful with the treats she brings, though, because of the fish. Hey, back off! This isn't your food. My friend gave it to me. Whew, it's a jungle out there. A very wet jungle. My friend likes to bring me gifts, too. Ooh, I love that shell. Thank you so much. Oh, yeah. Can you turn that a little? I want to see this side of my face. Another shell. Nah, no, thank you. I have several already. But I like this, whatever this is. My friend is super generous. Oh, and she's also very helpful. One time, there was a really heavy log on my stuff. Can you believe that? I couldn't move it myself. It was just way too big for a little octopus. So I got my friend's attention. And she helped me out right away. Yes! Oh, my precious shells. Oh, I've missed you. Trust me, if you haven't met a human yet, definitely give it a try. They get the Eggbert seal of approval. Oh, I'm trying to find a gift for her to show her how much I appreciate her. But I don't know what humans like. If you have any ideas, please let me know. Anyway, oh no, the fish. Oh, how? You scram, you fish!
Lundy's a teeny tiny itty bitty dog. and Herman's his pigeon. Lundy is so small, Herman used to think he was a bird like him. A little baby bird who just hatched from an egg. Until Lundy barked and was like, "Hey, I'm a dog." And I guess Herman thought that was pretty funny, because they've been side by side ever since. Herman and Lundy live in a very special place. A huge house with an animal rescuer. It's a place for animals who need a little extra help. Herman is a pigeon who can't fly. When he was really little, he was found outside. Someone spotted him sitting in the same place for days, until the animal rescuer came and brought him inside. It didn't take long until he found a perfect nest. Lundy's bed. Lundy was rescued because he was having trouble walking. So for now, he scoots like this. Little dog coming through. They were the perfect match. Herman loved having someone to snuggle with, and Lundy didn't mind being sat on. When you're so small, it's good to have someone in your corner. They help each other feel better. Lundy needs a lot of help learning to walk. He does exercises to make his legs stronger. He even has a walking cart that was built just for him, and he practices every day. In order to get better, he needs to go one puppy step at a time, with lots of breaks for food. Herman is there every step of the way. Having Herman cheer him on helps Lundy feel like he can do it. And Herman loves helping Lundy. He's happy to have someone to look out for. Herman and Lundy spend almost every day together. After Lundy does his exercises, the nest is a perfect place to hang out, even when Herman sits on Lundy like he's an egg. He gives Herman a little lick to say thank you for your help. They spend some time outside and then have lunch together. After that, it's time to play with their friends. Well, Lundy plays, Herman just likes to watch. In the afternoons, they go for walks outside in their special wagon. Or bus? All aboard! After playtime, they both like a nice long head rub from their mom. Oh yeah, right there! They always have the best time, except when Lundy chews on Herman. And Herman's like, "Lundy, we talked about this, remember?" "Sorry, Herman, I forgot." As a pigeon who can't fly, and a dog that can't walk, they'll always need to do things their way. But you don't need to be able to fly or to walk to be best animal friends. When a rescuer saw a dog on the street, she thought she was hungry. But the dog was actually trying to tell her something else. So the rescuer followed her and discovered that the dog was a mama to these puppies.
Hi.
It turned out that she wanted the rescuer to help them.
Hi, babies.
The whole family was hungry. But the rescuer could tell they needed more than just food. They had fleas and ticks. And some of the puppies weren't feeling well. The rescuer thought if she could bring them all to her animal shelter, she could help them feel better. With all the puppies in the car, they were almost ready to go. There was just one problem. The mama dog was afraid of cars and wouldn't get in. But these puppies needed help right away. So the rescuer decided to take them to her shelter first, and then come back for their mom later. At the shelter, she gave the puppies medicine and food. And after a little while, the little puppies started to feel better.
Good girl.
Now it was time to go back for their mom. At first, the rescuer couldn't find her anywhere.
Come on, Nanny.
Until...
Oh, good girl. Come here, pretty girl. Come on.
she could see that the mama dog was worried. Were her puppies okay? She missed them so much already, but was still too scared to come near the car. Would she ever be brave enough to get in? But then she smelled something. It was the scent of her puppies. And the more she smelled her pup's scent, the braver she became.
You're so sweet, honey.
Then, when the rescuer wasn't looking, the mama dog jumped into the car.
Good girl.
Even though she was still a little nervous, she'd be brave for her pups. When they got to the shelter, the pup's mom heard her babies crying in the other room.
Do you hear your puppies?
She couldn't wait to go in. Her pups couldn't stop wagging their tails when they saw her. They'd hoped she would find them again. And she did. Just like a brave, loving mama dog would. All thanks to a rescuer who did everything she could to help this dog family live a happy and healthy life together. The minute Hope was born, everyone could see she was extra special. She had a hole in her shell right over her heart. Some people were afraid for Hope, but she kinda liked being one in a million. She just needed someone to give her extra help. She needed a rescuer. Mike's obsessed with taking care of water animals. He's a dad to this zebrafish, a rainbow belly pipefish, and so many turtles. So as soon as Mike heard about little Hope, he knew he had to help her. But how do you take care of a turtle with a hole over her heart? Mike remade one of his regular turtle tanks so it was perfect for Hope. He used a special filter for her water, a heater to keep the temperature just right, and put in a log covered in moss so it couldn't hurt her heart. Mike wanted the little turtle to love it. But what would Hope think? When she arrived, he couldn't believe how tiny she was. She was barely bigger than a quarter. Mike was worried. But Hope wasn't worried at all. She might have had a hole over her heart, but she was brave. She swam around, and chased after food, picked a favorite picnic spot, and liked to get her shell polished. Eventually, Mike stopped worrying because Hope was doing great. And then the best thing happened. Hope started getting big. Until one day, she was kinda giant. The hole in her shell had grown with her, but it still didn't stop her from being her turtle self. Now, this 1 in a million turtle is living her best life. A life full of fun, with a rescuer she loves, and a warm and special heart. When Chris found this baby squirrel lying on the ground, he couldn't believe what he was seeing. The squirrel was so young, he hadn't even opened his eyes yet.
And I was just like, oh no, why is he laying on the ground? Where's his mother?
Chris waited for his mama to show up, but when she didn't, he knew he had to help the little baby.
I was like, I gotta do what I gotta do. We're all earthlings here.
Chris needed the squirrel to trust him, so he could get him big and strong and ready to go back to the wild. He made formula for the baby to eat. But the squirrel was stubborn and probably really scared. He didn't know Chris was trying to help him. Chris had to be patient until eventually the squirrel got a bit more hungry than scared. After those first few sips, he realized that maybe Chris wasn't so bad after all. And when he finally opened his eyes and saw Chris and his family for the first time, he never wanted to leave. Chris decided to give him a name, Acorn. Acorn ate and he ate and got bigger and stronger. Chris would hold Acorn tight, just like a mama squirrel would. It was almost like Acorn was a member of the family. He would sit in their arms and give them hugs, climb all over them, and complain when Chris went to work.
Wanna come to work with me? Wanna come to work with me? He's under my shirt.
Acorn and his humans were inseparable, which made Chris kind of worried. Acorn trusted them, which was what Chris had always hoped. But Acorn wasn't supposed to be a pet. He would need to go back to the wild someday. It was going to be tough, but Chris knew he had to get him ready to leave. The family started taking him outside, because that's where squirrels are supposed to live. At first, Acorn was nervous. He still wanted to be close to Chris.
Don't you jump on me, you're a wild guy now.
Acorn had changed quite a bit since Chris first found him. But he trusted Chris enough to give this outdoor thing a try. Slowly, he started exploring, one tree branch at a time. Soon, he was spending all his time outside.
You've been gone all day.
And then one day, Chris didn't see Acorn in his yard anymore. He had gone off somewhere to be a wild squirrel. Chris was happy for Acorn, but he missed him too. He wondered where his little squirrel might be living now. But one day, Chris went out to his backyard and got a big surprise. Up in his tree, he spotted a squirrel nest, and inside was Acorn. Acorn had been building a nest this whole time, right next to Chris.
He is still on the property, so I guess we're gonna be neighbors.
Like every baby, Acorn had to grow up. But even though he had to live on his own, he'll never be far from home. It was a very special night on the beach. Anna had just spotted a mama sea turtle who'd come ashore to lay her eggs. The mama made a hole for the eggs to stay in until the babies inside grew big enough to hatch. Anna felt lucky just to see something so special. But she wasn't alone. There were other people on the shore who wanted to take the eggs away and sell them. Anna knew the best place for the eggs was on the beach. So someday the baby turtles could wiggle their bodies right toward the water and join their mama in the ocean. If the people took the eggs, the babies might never hatch. As soon as the mama turtle said goodbye to her eggs, the people tried to dig them up. But Anna got there first. The mama turtle had no idea her eggs were in any danger, so it was up to Anna to protect them. She decided to take them home, away from anyone who might try to dig them up. Anna didn't have a beach in her backyard, but she did have a bucket she could fill with sand. It wasn't as perfect a home for eggs as the sand by the ocean, but here, Anna could stand guard. Every day, she watched the eggs and waited. She wanted to be ready to take the turtles back as soon as the eggs started to crack. Sometimes, she wasn't sure if they ever would.
It takes around 2 months for them to hatch, but these were taking a little bit longer, so we're not sure if they're gonna make it.
All she could do was hope. But 2 months later, Anna heard a scratching sound outside. And when she went to check on the bucket, one by one, they crawled out of the sand. So many tiny baby turtles, all excited to head back to the ocean. But, where was the ocean? Anna had to move fast. Baby sea turtles need to get to the ocean quickly after hatching. She went back to the beach and let the babies out of the bucket. Anna was a little nervous. Did she make it in time? Would the babies know what to do? They were only just born. She watched and waited until the turtles started to crawl. Anna was so happy. But she couldn't leave yet. She wanted to stand guard until every turtle made it to the sea. And right as the last turtle left the beach, she saw something. A big sea turtle was swimming in the waves. There was no way to know for sure, but Anna likes to think that the mama turtle came back just to watch her babies crawl home and to thank Anna for keeping her little ones safe.
Bet you've never met a dog rescuer before. No, I don't mean a dog rescuer. I mean a dog rescuer. A dog who rescues? That's me, Graham the dog rescuer. Yeah, I'm basically a hero. Okay, but no spoilers. Here we go. One day, I was just minding my own business when I saw something unusual. Bunnies in a hole in my backyard! I could tell they needed help. And this little guy, well, he needed the most help. So my mom brought him inside. And we named him Dash. Mom, stop hugging Dash. This is my rescue story. He fell asleep in my mom's hand. At least I think he was sleeping. It was hard to tell because his eyes weren't open yet. We wanted to bring him to the Wildlife Rescue Center, but they didn't have any space for him yet. So until they called, we had the perfect space for him. We made a bed out of my dog toy. And he fell asleep again. Is this all bunnies do? My mom needed my help big time. Whenever she'd go warm up his milk, which was a lot, she'd ask me to watch Dash.
Graham, you gonna watch him? Watch him, okay?
I'll protect you, tiny fuzzy little ball of cuteness. So, while he slept, and ate, and slept, and ate, I was never more than a dog's breath away. You warm enough? Up too close. Soon he was getting too big for his bed. And I said he can sleep next to me. But I didn't want to scare the little guy. So I just watched over him. And he let me get closer and closer until it's happening. Dash started thinking of me as his big brother or his big blanket. Either way, I was happy. And then on the 7th day, he opened his eyes. I was so excited for him to see me. Hey Dash, it's me, Graham. Were you picturing me this furry? Everything was going so well, but then we got the call. The Wildlife Center finally had room to take him. That night, I didn't sleep too well. I was thinking about how much I was gonna miss this fluffy little guy. The next morning, my mom let me say goodbye.
Say bye.
I was sad, but I knew he was going to the best place to learn how to be a wild bunny again. Every day since, I've been thinking about Dash. How he used to sleep on my mom, and sleep in my dog toy, and sleep on the bed. He really slept a lot, I guess. And then, one day, the rescue center sent us a picture. Dash was about to be released into the wild. I hope that someday I'll see Dash again. I'm sure he knows there's one backyard where he's always welcome.
Duck might be the happiest cat in the world. That's right, you heard me. This cat's name is Duck. But she's never once quacked, as far as I know. She's a pretty normal cat. Duck also has a special way of getting around. She doesn't have front legs, so she runs like a dinosaur. Pretty fast, actually. Very fast. But she's not a dinosaur, and she's not a duck. She's just the world's happiest cat. But what is it exactly that makes her such a happy cat? So glad you asked. Duck has a very special best friend. Nope, it's not a duck. Duck the cat is best friends with a dog named Bimini. They spend every second wrestling, taking naps together, sitting on each other. You know, best friend stuff. They're a perfect pair, but they weren't always this lucky. Because before they became best friends, Duck and Bimini both felt alone. Duck was only a kitten when her dad adopted her, and she had just lost her front legs, so she was still getting used to walking on only 2. Not so easy for a kitten. It took a lot of work and a lot of waddling, but Duck was unstoppable. You're no match for me, small string thing. I am Duck. I am a wild tiger, a jungle leopard. I am Duck. This bag cannot defeat me. Do you know why? Because I am Duck. Duck was starting to feel pretty happy, but she wasn't the happiest cat in the world just yet. That's because she was still missing one thing. Duck had a pretty big family. Like a, big family. All kinda too big to play with such a tiny kitten. I mean, look at these giants. How was she supposed to wrestle and squish any of these big pups? But lucky for Duck, there was someone in the family who was the perfect size. Nope, it is not a duck. I promise the only duck in this story is a cat. It was Bimini. Bimini had always been the smallest pup in the house, so she'd felt a little left out. Until Duck arrived. Now Bimini is a happy dog, and Duck is the world's happiest cat. Just look at these two. A tiny pup and an even tinier cat whose name is Duck. Wait, did she just quack?
Oh, are you giving us a possum hug? When we first rescued you, you were so tiny, as small as a thumb. You and your siblings. You were barely opening your eyes, as we carefully weighed you to make sure you were growing. Because you'd need to get much bigger before we could bring you back to the wild. But it wasn't like we could just give you food in a bowl. You were so young, you didn't know how to eat on your own. So we had to use the tiniest tube in the world. Careful, careful. Baby possum food, go! Aw, are you holding on to it because it's so tasty? All of that eating was starting to pay off because soon you were big enough to open your eyes. And almost ready to walk. This was your favorite time of day, and ours too, because it meant you were getting bigger and growing lots of fur. No more tube feeding for you. You were ready to try eating by yourselves. There it is. Come on, stick your nose in it. It's all right to get messy. Okay, that's better. You were getting right in there. Looking good in those food beards. But getting possums ready to go isn't only about helping them get big. We also had to help you learn how to do all the things wild possums do. And that's when your possum instincts started kicking in. Because one thing a baby possum loves to do is get a piggyback ride. Or is that a possum back ride? Oh, that's the wall. Turning. And the other thing possums love to do? Explore. What's under here? What about here? Oh, hello! You were curious about everything, and your curiosity was starting to get a bit too big for your home. So we brought you out to the Possum Outdoor Training Center. Here, you could get used to the sounds and smells of outside and start foraging for your own food. Then one day, you 4 possums were ready for the biggest day of your lives. We gave you a little treat for the ride. Hey, you have your own treat. In the car, it was like you could tell something huge was happening. When we got to the woods, we set you down and...
You heard eating something.
We were so proud. Watching you sniff your way into the forest, we knew we'd miss holding you in our arms. You were so tiny when we first found you. But you had learned how to be big, smart possums. And we were so happy you were going back to where you belonged.
Illy Pika was too little to be on her own. Which is why rescuers weren't surprised when they saw her doing this. They knew it meant she was looking for milk from her mother. Just a few days earlier, the rescuers had found Illy Pika stuck on top of an oyster trestle bed. She was too little to be alone in the wild. They could tell she needed help, so they rushed her to the Seal Rescue Center. Illy Pika was small and needed a lot of milk so that she could grow big enough to return to the wild. But there was a problem. Her mother wasn't there to feed her. That's when the rescuers came up with an idea. They made a pretend seal mother out of a wetsuit. That way, Illy Pika could feel safe while she drank her milk. And it worked. So well that Illy Pika cuddled up for a little nap. Illy Pika was growing, but she still had a long way to go before returning back home. It was time for Illy Pika to start what rescuers call fish school. Step 1, pour in the fish. Step 2, plop into the tub. Step 3, catch a fish with your mouth.
It's so funny to watch it eat.
Gobbling up all of that fish was making Illy Pika stronger. And as she grew, she started to get braver. Brave enough to defend her tub from the daily cleaning brushes. She was like, "Go away, tall, spiky monster." You think I don't see you? I see you! Out, foul brush! Out, I say! Are you trying to scoot me out? I will live in here forever. You hear me? Forever. The rescuers knew all that bathtub bravery meant it was time for the next step of her journey. Seal school, where she could meet other seals and practice catching fish in open water like she would in the wild. The rescuers wondered, would Ilipika be ready? She hopped over to the pool, but she seemed nervous to get in. This pool was so much bigger than her bathtub. And there was someone else in it. Ilipika hadn't met another seal before, but she kind of liked it. She was like, I think I could get used to this. Now Ilipika spends her days learning how to be a seal from her new friends. As soon as she gets a little bigger, her rescuers know she'll be ready to go back to the wild. But while Ilipika keeps working, her friends are about to do something amazing. Many of them are at the end of their journeys at the rescue center, and their lives in the wild are just beginning. As the other seals head back into the sea, Ilipika couldn't be happier, because she knows soon they'll be able to play together again back home in the wild. Whoa! That's a lot of puppies!
Puppy pile!
This is Kaya, and she just became a mama to a bunch of puppies. But before Kaya was on mommy duty, she was a lonely dog in a shelter who needed a rescue. No one wanted to foster her until Jessie came along and changed this pittie's life.
Freedom walk. What do you think? Look at this beautiful place you got to be now.
When Jessie first brought Kaya home, he noticed she was a little underweight. He'd have to keep an eye on her to make sure she was eating properly. But after only a few days, Kaya started to gain some weight in her belly area. Progress. But it was happening a little too fast. Jessie thought, maybe I'm overfeeding this pup. But when he brought Kaya in for a quick checkup, it turned out Kaya was eating for more than just herself. She was pregnant with a whole litter of puppies. At first, Jessie was in shock. He'd only signed up to foster one dog. Now he was gonna have an entire puppy litter too. But Jessie was ready to help Kaya be the best mom she could be.
Puppy's kicking you this morning.
Kaya was getting super tired from carrying all these puppies in her belly. Most days, all she wanted to do was snooze or roll around in the grass. But she still had the energy for a little fun now and then.
Dog in labor wants to play with water.
Soon, Kaya started to do her nesting, which meant it was almost time for her puppies to arrive. Then, early one morning, the Pittie Puppy Party began.
Good girl. Good mama.
Kaya was doing so well with her newborn pups, and Jessie thought, she's already given birth to 6, so she should only have a few more left, right? But then, more puppies were born, and then even more. She was up to 15 pups.
Oh my goodness, what a litter of puppies.
Jessie was shocked. For sure, this had to be it, right? But then, almost 3 days after the first puppy was born, number 16! It was a puppy extravaganza. Mama Kaya was finally done having puppies, and you could just imagine how tired she was. Now it was time for Jessie to help this new mom out with her enormous new family, and she was grateful, because puppies can be quite a handful.
They're escaping.
But Kaya loved every single one of them so much. She would lead them around the yard in her very own puppy parade and taught them all the things dogs need to know, like how to dig and how to properly play.
Come on, puppies! Outside!
Pretty soon, it was time for Kaya's puppies to find their forever homes. It was so hard to say goodbye. But Kaya and Jessie knew these pups would be just fine. After all, they did come from the best mama. But not only did Kaya's pups find their forever home, Kaya did too. Jessie had only ever meant to foster Kaya for a little while, but after all they had been through together, he knew he could never give her up. You never know what might happen when you foster a dog, or 16. But one thing is always for sure, lots of licks, tons of tail wags, and the chance to be a hero.
You're beautiful. When you were born, baby wombat, you didn't have any fur. You were the cutest little pink blob. Your eyes weren't open yet, but you knew we were there. Baby wombats usually live in their mother's pouch for half a year. But since we found you all alone, we'd have to be your pouch until you got big and furry. The first thing you needed was milk. Your bottle had to be just as tiny as you. You needed to grow so you could live outside again. Without your mother's pouch, your skin was getting very dry. So we gave you a massage with oil every day. And kept you all tucked in. 8 weeks old. Your bottle was bigger and so were you. You were starting to look a little more like a wombat and getting more energy all the time. You couldn't stop holding our hand. Well, our finger. And at 10 weeks, something amazing happened. You finally opened your eyes. But you still needed oil all the time. Other baby wombats your size would still be in their mother's pouch.
Your belly. And then we do your forehead. And then we've got to do your bum.
Your paws had a mind of their own. Even when you were dreaming, you were getting ready to run around outside the pouch. But you'd have to wait. You were still too small. 13 weeks old and growing. But until your fur came in, we had to keep rubbing oil on you.
All done.
And wrapping you up. At 16 weeks, your fur finally grew in.
Look at that belly.
Now you were a fuzzy little blob. You were almost ready to try exploring outside the pouch. We kept you in your blanket as you grew more and more fur. Sometimes you didn't want to come out.
I've got to wake her up for a bottle. You gonna come have your bottle? Okay.
You were starting to wonder about the world outside your blanket. But it was just a little too warm and cozy in there.
Are you gonna wake up? Cutest bum in the world. There's a pouch.
By 33 weeks, you were out of your blanket and sticking your nose into some interesting places. Then one day, there was a new cute pink blob in the house.
Be gentle.
You weren't a tiny wombat in our hands anymore. You were a big sister.
Come here. So that's the difference from December to March.
You are all wrapped up in there. Ronan's a tiny little bat, living with us while we take care of him. He can already hang upside down. But if he wants to fly like his friends, he's gotta get big. So we'll start one milk drop at a time. Tiny little bat mouth, tiny little dropper. He doesn't even take a break, not even for a bath. When he does get tired, we wrap him in a blanket. It's just like his mom's wings. And he's hungry again. Today, we woke up to Ronan doing this. It's almost like he thinks he's ready to fly. but we know he needs to get stronger first. And getting stronger means figuring out how to eat like a bat instead of a baby. He's thinking, why is this milk not going directly in my mouth? That's more like it. It doesn't take long for him to try eating upside down. Okay, you don't have to stick your whole head in there. Still hungry? Hey there, muscle man. A few weeks later, and Ronan's feeling strong. He's grabbing everything in sight. Ronan, don't look now. There is a vampire behind you. And he's hungry again. We can tell Ronan can't wait to fly. He's dancing back and forth and flapping his strong wings. But we don't think he's ready just yet. Not until he takes a break from us and starts playing with actual bats. So far, he's mostly like, a bat? Get me out of here. Ronan, I don't know how to tell you this, but you are a bat. Let's give it a try. Boop. See? You already have so much in common. Now, Ronan fits right in with the other bats. But the one thing he really wants to do is fly. But is he ready? He stretches his muscles, gives a big flap, and... ooh! You can do this, Ronan. He's flying! He's left his bat blanket behind. We'll miss him on our shoulders, but he's where he belongs. Upside down, on his own, with a treehouse of friends, and a mouthful of food.
This little fluff ball is Marlin the dog. Okay, I know what you're gonna say. That dog looks very much like a cat. Specifically, that dog looks very much like an adorable little kitten. Well, you might think this cat is a cat, but this cat is most definitely a dog. Don't believe me? Well, have you ever seen a cat drink from a dog bowl? Or roughhouse with dogs? Or do dog tricks?
Give me a paw. Good boy, Marlin.
See, Marlin is a dog. Case closed, end of story. Just listen to his fearsome bark. All right, you got me. Marlin's not actually a dog, but he definitely believes he's one. That's because Marlin the cat grew up with a whole pack of doggy siblings and spent every waking moment and sleeping second by their sides. They never even noticed that Marlin didn't quite look like them. All they thought was, you are small and perfect. And they were right. Marlin's parents loved how happy their little doggy cat was, and how much he loved his siblings. He'd follow them to the ends of the earth if he could. But there was one place they definitely thought he'd never follow them: the water. Cats fairly famously don't love to get wet. But remember, Marlin doesn't think he's a cat. So when his brothers jumped onto Mom and Dad's boat, Marlin decided to join and fell right into the water. Oh no, Marlin! Everyone was so worried. But did Marlin panic? No way. Marlin swam, just like a dog would. And when they scooped him out, he said, "No problem. Let's do that again." So the next time they took the dogs to the beach, Marlin tagged right along. And honestly, he was a natural. He took to it like a fish to water. Or like a dog to water. A dog who is really a cat. I mean, have you ever seen a cat dig a hole on the beach? I don't think so. Maybe you still don't believe that Marlin is a dog, but Marlin doesn't mind. He believes it, and that's all that really matters. And as long as Marlin gets to be a part of the pack, then he's one happy dog.
Hello there, all you big, curious... Wait, we can't start yet. Ah, better. Now we can start. Hello there, all you big, curious creatures. I'm Fig, and I'm about to embark on an unbelievable, super-duper journey. Wanna come? I'm calling it Fig's Turtly Awesome Backyard Adventure. Whoa. What am I saying? I'm a tortoise, not a turtle. Forget the title. What I'm trying to tell you is that today, I'm going outside! But heading into the wild is a big deal, even when you've done it a million times, like me. There's a ton of stuff you gotta do, which means getting up early. Sorry, still a little sleepy. A nice cold shower always wakes me up and gets my skin feeling nice. The last thing I need when I'm outside is a dry shell situation. But I need to stay moist on the inside too, which is why Mom gives me a fresh bowl of water every day. She's even got this fancy water making machine. She said the water has minerals in it, but I haven't been able to find any. And of course, I can't go adventuring on an empty stomach, so Mom made me a gourmet breakfast of green stuff, grassy stuff, and fruity stuff, with just a sprinkle of calcium powder. Whatever that is. You know, if I lived in the wild, I'd have to find all this stuff myself. What does a calcium powder tree even look like? I was almost ready, but I couldn't skip my daily spa session. This shell doesn't keep itself shiny, you know. Psst, just between us, did you know I'm a leopard tortoise? I have spots, just like a leopard. Rawr! One last nibble of the fruity stuff. And it was time to leave my enclosure. You know what they say, life moves pretty fast. But there's always time for hugs. This is not a leopard, by the way. No spots, see? All right, at last, I'm finally ready to leave the house and go on my adventure outside. Oh, wait, I'm not sure this hat matches my vibe. Mom! Ooh, I love it, but a bit too fancy. Purple? Not my shade. I like this, but I was picturing something a little more rugged. Yeehaw! Giddy up! But doesn't really work without tiny boots. Psst, wanna know a secret about my hats? They look really good and taste even better. In fact, I've never met a hat I couldn't snack on. Except for this one, because it tastes like a hat. Oh, this one's perfect. Okay, I'm finally ready for the moment we've all been waiting for. To the backyard! Whoa, check out nature's carpet. Kinda tickles my belly. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, and done. Phew, I almost made it halfway across the yard. Impressive, right? This was the best 5 minutes ever. Mom, I'm ready to go inside now. Let's check out my clubhouse. Did you know my mom built this thing out of a TV stand? That's why there's a TV on top of it. But who has time to watch TV when you're having this much fun? Gouda and Kusa are so jealous. I bet they wish they could squeeze in here with me. Sorry, guys. This clubhouse is for tortoises only. Of course, I can't go to bed without some dinner and a little num-num to end the day on a sweet note. Which reminds me, what should we call this unforgettable day? Figs Tortoise Chronicles? Nah, too official. Fig Walks on Grass? No, that's boring. No worries. I'm sure I'll dream up something perfect. Good night.
This poor little kitten is lost and afraid. Samantha and her husband had heard his tiny meows and realized he was crying for help. But even though the kitten needed a rescue, he wasn't expecting Samantha. He was like, I don't know if I can trust these humans. Samantha and her husband couldn't reach him in his hiding spot. They needed to convince him to come to them. So they came up with a plan. They brought some food and a carrier with them. The kitten was still nervous, but decided that maybe he could trust these people after all. Success! Kitten rescued. But just as they were all getting ready to leave, they heard another tiny cry for help. Where could it be coming from?
Bring a ladder, there's a kitten up high.
It's okay, kitty.
A second kitten.
Hi, kitty.
He had been all alone up on the roof of the building.
It's okay, kitty.
Once they got him down, he couldn't stop meowing. It was like he was thanking Samantha's husband over and over for saving him. In his hands, the kitten felt like everything was going to be okay.
Oh my goodness.
Right away, Samantha and her husband found someone to adopt the first kitten, but for some reason, they couldn't find a home for the second. So, they had to take him to their home. They gave him a nice warm bath and a name, Rufy. You can probably guess why. Rufy needed a lot of care while they searched for a family to adopt him. He was still a baby after all. His new roommates weren't exactly thrilled to have a kitten in the house. They were like, no, be gone.
Marie, be nice to him.
Rufy didn't mind, because he'd found a safe spot all his own.
Rufy is definitely a shoulder cat.
Shoulders, where he always felt warm and loved. He'd get so cozy, he would fall right to sleep. Every time. Little by little, Rufy grew from a helpless little kitten into a big, brave cat.
Oh, are you okay?
He's like, yeah, all good. Stuck the landing. And as Rufy grew, his family grew to love him more and more. Even the other cats started to like him. Rufy felt like he finally belonged, like he was home. Samantha and her husband were still looking for someone to adopt him, but they suddenly realized they just couldn't imagine him living anywhere else.
Where are you going, buddy?
Turns out, the home they'd been looking for was theirs all along. They decided to officially adopt him. Rufy's changed a lot since that day on the roof. But there's one thing that will never change. He loves his heroes so much.
It's okay, kitty.
And they love him too.
Bleeper, this is the day we met you. You were just an egg. Well, technically, you were inside an egg. An egg we found all alone, with no duck family around. You couldn't wait to come out of your shell. But without a mom to help you hatch, you were stuck in there. We had to give you a little help. Very gently. Eventually, we busted you out. You were just a tiny ball of feathers and feet. Since we couldn't find your duck family, it was up to us to care for you until you grew big enough to live in the wild. But that was easier said than done. Your eyes were still closed, and you couldn't stand up. We had to hold you up while you ate, so you didn't flip over. But you worked so hard, Bleeper.
Try again. No, you can do it.
And we were so proud when you could finally stand on your own webbed feet.
Yay! Good job, Wobbly Waxstar.
Before we knew it, you were waddling everywhere. As long as everywhere was where we were going.
Trying to cook, but this little dot keeps following me around.
It was like you never wanted to be alone. Soon, your feathers were getting darker, and you were getting bigger. And we were so happy when you started to do the things that wild ducks do, like swimming.
Oh, paddock, let me out. Oh, no, come here, Bleeps. Oh, you want to go back?
Bleeper, you're a natural. We could tell you loved having us as your parents, Bleeper. But what you wanted more than anything was a family of your own. So you decided to adopt the dogs. For a while, you pretended you were a dog. You even developed a taste for dog food and a knack for doggy mischief.
Bleeper, you had me blaming the puppies for destroying the toilet roll.
Bleeper, we kinda need that toilet paper. But even though you loved your adopted family, we knew that being a big wild duck surrounded by other ducks was your dream. And after a few more weeks, you were a big, beautiful grown-up duck. Oh, Bleeper, just look at you. It was time for you to go live in the wild. So we gave you the biggest hug and let you out into the world. We were gonna miss having you around, Bleeper, but not for long, because you started coming back to visit us all the time. It's okay, we get it. You missed us. We missed you too. Sometimes you even brought your new friends and introduced them to your old friends. But one day, your visits suddenly stopped. We thought you decided to be a wild duck full time, but a few weeks later, you were back. And you weren't alone. You were a mama duck with baby ducklings of your own. Bleeper's little bleeplets. And now when you come to visit, you bring your bleeplets with you for a dog food dinner, your favorite. I guess it's an inherited taste. Bleeper, we loved helping you grow from a wobbly duckling into the proud duck mama you are today. Who would have thought that all those months ago, one tiny little egg would bring a whole duck family into our lives?
These ducklings are stuck in a pool. Their mama wants to help them, but she's not sure how. One thing's for certain, these little ducks need a rescue. When 10 fluffy ducklings got stuck in a pool, their mama rushed over to help them. Plop! They're following her to the other side so mama can show them how to jump out. They try and try, but they're just too small. Mama duck doesn't know what to do. The little ducklings are kind of scared. But she has another idea. She swims over to the steps. Maybe they can jump out there. Nope, still too high for little ducklings. What will they do now? Suddenly, Mama spots someone with a big blue net getting closer to her babies. He's trying to help, but she thinks he's trying to catch her ducklings. She plops back into the pool and leads them away from the net. The man with the net tries to lift the ducklings out of the pool one by one, but they fall right back into the pool. He tries again and again. But the ducklings want to be with their mama. Wherever mama goes, they go. The man really wants to help, but he doesn't know what else to do. Then, he has an idea. He makes another step out of some rocks. He's hoping it's the right size for the ducklings. But will it work? 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on, 5. 5 and 6, 7, 8. There's 9. But there's still one duckling left. He doesn't know if he can do it. Oof. Almost, little quacker. You got this. He wiggles his fluffy feathers and lifts his webby feet. But he falls. He gets back on the rock, and he does it. Now all 10 ducklings are back together and off to find somewhere else to swim. Because no matter how small they are, or how many rocks they have to climb, a fluffy little duckling never gives up.
Presenting Dusty the Dog, Master of Scoots. Oh, there he goes. Incredible. Tato. Sorry about this. Tato can be a bit rude. Alright, where were we? Oh, even outside. Tato, get out of here. Dusty's doing his scoots. Tato, let Dusty scoot. Tato, could you move, please? Don't, Tato. Tato! Oh, Tato. So rude. So impolite. Poor Dusty. Dusty, don't give up scooting. Please, we need you to scoot. Now more than ever. Dusty, I know you're upset. Dusty, no! Oh, you don't need to steal his toy. Dusty, you and Tato shouldn't be fighting. Maybe you could teach him how to scoot. I don't think he's getting it. There's only one pro scooter in this house, and his name is Dusty. At least you two are friends again. Tato, come on!
Life changed for Jasper the day Jade entered the picture. He was an only dog, and he needed some space. But space wasn't really Jade's thing. Jasper wasn't ready for a cat in his life, because he was still figuring out how to be a dog. He had grown up in the shelter and never got a chance to be playful. He was always so serious. When his mom and dad brought him home, they thought he'd be happy to finally run around and play whenever he wanted. but it was like he didn't know what to do.
Good boy, come on. Come on, Jasper. Come on, let's go outside.
Instead of playing with toys, he'd follow his mom into the shower.
What are you doing?
And wouldn't eat treats. He was so afraid of his bed, he'd sleep on a mat in the bathroom. His parents tried to teach him how to have fun.
Get it, get it, get it, get it, get it.
But they were worried. Would he ever be able to just be a dog? Then one day, they met Jade. They thought Jade could help Jasper find his wild side, as long as she'd give him some time. But as soon as she walked in, she was ready to play. Jasper was fascinated. This tiny little kitten was making noise and drinking from his bowl and sleeping on his bed.
Why are you on the floor?
She wasn't afraid of him at all. She wasn't afraid of anything. And that made him think he might as well join her. And it wasn't that bad. Kind of nice, actually. Jasper was starting to play. And eat treats. And play with toys. And sleep in a bed. Almost. Jasper had grown to love this tiny, bold kitten. And he was ready to be just as fun.
Come here, buddy. What is it? Oh.
Sit. Good boy.
And it was a good thing because soon there was a new dog in the house, Zulu. And this time it was Jasper helping Zulu feel at home. Showing her where to sleep. Does no one in this house like to use beds? That's better. So now, Jasper knows exactly who he is.
Come here. What is it, buddy?
And that's worth sharing your bowl for. Bee the cat has a very important job. I mean, if she doesn't pet these chickens, who will? And what about these goats? They need pets too, you know. Oh, and the pig. We absolutely cannot forget about this pig. But not that. That's just a sandwich. But Bee isn't just petting everyone for fun. Well, not just for fun. She's actually making sure all the animals at the hospital know that they're safe and loved. It's a busy job for one cat, but Bee doesn't mind. Because she remembers when she was a patient here. She was brought in as a stray kitten and was really afraid of everything. But the vets were so nice to her, which made being in the hospital a lot less scary. Bee loved all the attention the vets gave her, and they loved having her around. So when Bee got better, instead of finding someone else to adopt her, they decided to adopt her themselves. That was the second greatest day of her life. We'll get to the first greatest in a bit. Bee realized that other animals staying at the hospital probably felt nervous too. So she made it her mission to make every new patient feel safe and comfortable. There. Everything's gonna get better soon. It's all good. We are gonna take care of you. You got nothing to worry about, friend. Bee, that is not a patient. That is a slice of pizza. And that is a taco. Okay? You're doing great. Life at the hospital was pretty perfect, except for one thing. No matter how many pets she gave, or how many new friends she made, eventually the patients always went home. But that was a good thing, After all, she didn't want them to need a vet. Still, she felt a little lonely sometimes. Then one day, everything changed when Peggy arrived. Peggy was a stray kitten just like Bee, who'd injured her paw and needed time to heal. Bee could sense that there was something special about this new patient. And when Bee tried to give her a welcome pet, Peggy petted right back. Soon, Peggy started following Bee everywhere and doing everything Bee did. If Bee wanted to watch bird videos, Peggy did too. If Bee wanted to spin French fries, Peggy did too. Wait, is French fry spinning some kind of cat game? And if so, what are the rules? And best of all, Peggy loved taking care of the other patients, just like Bee. Usually they did the rounds together, but sometimes Peggy handled it all by herself. Because even a dedicated hospital cat like Bee can't be on duty all the time. Bee and Peggy became really close. They were like sisters. Bee was so happy, but she was sad too, because she knew eventually someone would show up to take Peggy home. Or at least that's what she thought. But the vets had fallen in love with Peggy just like Bee had. And since Peggy didn't already have a home, they decided to adopt her, just like they did with Bee. The two of them were going to be cat sisters and best friends forever. And when Bee realized that, you guessed it, that was the greatest day of her life. Cosmo the cat just got a little brother. An adorable, sweet, tiny kitty brother named Sasha. What do you think of Sasha, Cosmo? Oh. Seems like Cosmo is not super excited to have a little brother.
How can you be scared of this little 2-3-pound kitten?
Well, you're gonna have to get along with him, Cosmo. He lives here now. Okay, yes, he does strange things sometimes. I really have no idea what's going on here. But he's your brother. You just gotta learn to live with him.
Okay.
Cosmo, where are you going? You barely even tried. Just see if you two have anything in common. Maybe he likes to play. Gently, you're bigger than him. Okay, this is nice. Sharing our space with our new little... Hey, why are you fighting? Okay, see, Cosmo? He's on a completely different shelf than you. And yet, you still seem mad. He's not even close to you. You have to learn to share, including space on the couch. Cosmo, don't steal your brother's food. That is not what I meant by sharing. What will we do with you two? Cosmo, come on. No, you know what? We're not giving up here. Cosmo, Sasha, I believe in you. I believe you two can be friends. You just have to give each other a chance. And I'm mostly talking to you, Cosmo. Sasha isn't going anywhere. It's this or a lifetime of growling.
That's not nice.
Okay. See, now this is how cats should play. What else can you do together? Oh, a little bit of bird watching? Spot any warblers? Okay, how about a bigger test? Eating without stealing? This is huge! I am so proud of you two. You are being very adorable together. See, having a brother isn't so bad. It can actually be pretty amazing. You just have to learn when it's time to play and when it's time for some space.
Sasha, he's trying to poop. Sasha, stop. Sasha, he's trying to poop.
I'm so glad you gave each other a chance, so you could become the 2 closest brothers and 2 best animal friends.
Dodo Kids.
Help the kittens find the subscribe button.